Hey, yo, what up, Bodega Podcast? You already know who it is. It's one half of the sexiest Puerto Rican studs on this planet, Ortiz, baby. And shout out to all the Bodega Podcast listeners. Ow.
This is Agatha Carter, and you're watching the Urban Wrestling Network.
Yo, this is the Lucha Thug, the one-man Lucha gang, El Rey Gordo himself, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco, and y'all rocking with the Urban Wrestling Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Urban Wrestling Network. I am your boy, your quintessential Puerto Rican muffin. Today, the chef, aka Dundada hashtag something was really good in the neighborhood and all that nonsense. He's out. He's nursing an injury. His wife, it was their 21st wedding anniversary. She kind of beat him up. So he's out for a couple of days recovering from that. So, Chef, shout out to you, brother. Hope everything works out. But I have a special guest, and we haven't heard him in a while, but I'll let him introduce himself. What up, homie?
I am good, man. My name is Michael Larkin. I am the host of many podcasts. The Lingerie Fighting Championships Beauty, Strength, and Dominance podcast for LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships. You can check me out on the Max Wrestling podcast, the Steve and Mike Show, On the Mic with Mike, the Pop Culture History podcast. I provide a lot of variety for my listeners, and I'm very happy to be back on with you, Mr. Jorge Luis Martinez Jr., the quintessential Puerto Rican muffin. How are you?
Yes, it is I, your quintessential Puerto Rican muffin, Jorge, a.k.a. And I'm here, man. Thank you, Larkin, for taking time from your hard, crazy 27 podcasts that you do during the week to join me here and fill in for the chef. I mean, those are little boots because he got little feet. So hopefully you'll be able to to fill those boots.
I do my best. I love providing analysis with professional wrestling. And also, I will also feed off of you, man, because god dang, man, 21 years. Happy anniversary to Chef. God bless.
Chef, yeah, brother. Anniversary. And first thing I want to say before we jump on Larkin, I just want to show something real quick. This beautiful shirt that I got from the Fat Boy, Papo Esco, sent directly from the man himself. He's one half of the Tag Team Champions, the Bodega, for CFH down in Hollywood and Memphis. Him and Danny Limelight are just kicking butt. And I want to say people out here wasting money on Cameo and all this stuff just to get 20 seconds of some crappy shout outs from people who don't even know you. And they just sing just the basic stuff. Myself and Chef and you, we believe in the talent and we support the talent. So the talent in return supports the fans that support them. And this shirt was sent to me by him himself. No free of charge. I wanted to pay for the shirt. He can say no. He just sent me this shirt. So shout out to Papo Esco and shout out to any talent that respects you and follows you and knows who you are as a fan. Not because you're paying $50 for a cameo for 30 seconds of them saying some basic stuff. Oh, I believe in you. And no. They know us by name. They respect us because we respect them in return. So with that said, Larkin, you have anything? I mean, you have any hip hop lyrics to go off on the show, man?
Well, I'm going to quote one of your favorites, man. I think we're not going to go 93 till infinity, but we're going to do this to infinity because that's what we do as podcasters, man. We love what we do. So, yeah, we about to kick it. Right? And you do know that.
And you know that. And another thing, rest in peace to my man, MF Doom. He passed away October 31st. And we just found out about it before New Year's when his wife announced it on social media. So rest in peace to MF Doom, Metal Face. You'll be missed, brother. You'll be missed. But let's get to the show. Larkin, I don't know if you watched any of this week's shows, man, but they were awesome. Impact Wrestling came back from their 2-week hiatus of the best of crap for 2 weeks that just made no sense, and they killed the vibe. But they came with a good show this week. My personal favorite match was that X Division match between Casey Navarro, which I just found out who he is, Blake Christian, who I just found out who he is, and we had Crazy Steve, the returning Austin, and who else was in the match? Was it a fifth person or just four?
There was Crazy Steve, there was Ace Austin, there was Blake Christian, and Casey Navarro. Yep.
Those four. So I don't know about you, man, but Casey Navarro and Christian blew my mind off, bro. And that's what Impact Wrestling needs, is to go out there and get this independent wrestlers, just like AEW doing on the Dark Show, and put some blood, inject some blood into the X Division. Because as we know, the X Division is what made Impact Wrestling what it is today. It transcended that. And I'm looking forward, I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's Genesis pay-per-view, because those guys are going to be wrestling for the Super X Division Cup, and I'm looking forward to it, man. What do you think about those guys?
I'll be honest with you. This was the first time that I've also seen Blake Christian. I've heard the name, but I've never seen him work. Now, Casey Navarro, I knew about. I know he's done a lot of work on the independent on the Northeast scene. I think he's done a lot of work in Jersey. That dude is so talented. If you don't sign Casey Navarro, you need to. And like you were talking about, it's not about weight limits. It's about no limits. That's one of the main focal points when you think of, Impact Wrestling. You think of the X Division, and each and every one of these guys, from Crazy Steve to Ace Austin, it was that high octane aerial assault that I love. And to also, reiterate what you were saying there, Jorge, man, I can't wait for Genesis. I'm looking forward to the Super X Cup. Everything that was encompassed in this match was great. We got to see the returning Ace Austin. We got to see Crazy Steve do his thing. And we also got to bring in fresh talent in Casey Navarro and Blake Christian. And it made for a great mix and what was one of the most, I'm going to say it, like we mentioned, high octane aerial assault, but it's one of those bouts. It's just like, it was the shock and awe factor, because everything that these guys did blew my mind. It was crisp, it was solid, and it really was a hell of an opener for Impact Wrestling to start on.
Yeah, and like I said, man, this Genesis pay-per-view, since we don't know anything, because we don't have any more of the, crap she's giving you, the results, I'm actually looking forward to it, because we don't know what's going to happen. And I will hope one of these guys who are coming in, because I know there's another guy who I've never heard of who's going to be on the Genesis pay-per-view tomorrow, who's going to be competing in the Super X tournament. And I hope one of the three guys wins that cup, and hopefully we'll get to see them in the future. And I was kind of shocked that Crazy Steve actually got the pin. I was expecting it to be Austin since he came back, or one of the new guys. So they kind of surprised me with the Crazy Steve getting the pin. I don't know if you were that caught you off guard too or not.
Well, you also look at it from a stance where you got guys like Crazy Steve and you have Ace Austin coming back. You'd think the heel would get the win, but now you get Crazy Steve getting the win. I mean, for a comedy character and everything that he does, but he's one of the focal points as well that they're really showcasing the X Division. But either way, I was fine with the result. But yeah, I was also kind of like, Ace Austin just came back, give him that hot win going into the Super X Cup. But yeah, no, I agree with you, and I see your sentiments.
Yeah, so that kind of by surprise. But moving on to the show, we saw Cousin Jake, not Cousin Jake, but Cody Deaner's new look. Shaved head with a beard, more shaved, looking good. He actually looked like a wrestler, to be honest with you. I was like, this dude looks good. Like I was really surprised with the new look. I thought that this dude looks like an X Division wrestler. Like this, he looked clean. And I like the way how he got transformed from some of the comedy bits to a more serious wrestler now, with Eric Young and his tag team partner there, Joe Doring. And I love the new look of Cody
Deaner.
Cody Deaner. I love the new look, man. Like I said, he looked like a brand new wrestler. He looked fresh. He looked like an X Division wrestler when I saw him with that new look. I was like, I'm really looking forward to where this goes. But of course, towards the end, Mr. Tommy Dreamer had to get involved again, and the savior of Impact Wrestling. So now they have a 6-man coming up, hard to kill, between Doring, Deaner, and Eric Young against Rhino and
Tommy
Cousin
Jake
and Tommy Dreamer. Oh, surprise, surprise. Tommy Dreamer, once again, the savior of everything that happens in the ring. My God. This dude is with 2 different ponytails. One on top of his head and man butt, and one on the back. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Like, come on.
All right. Let me just say this. Well, let me just say this. Because when I look at Cody Deaner, obviously the first thing that I remember was him and ODB back in 2009, and obviously with Cousin Jake. The thing is, too, I know we getting tired of Gitter, but that was the comedy stick. But what's great about him now is you also have the history with Eric Young because they both came from Canada. They both have been on the Canadian wrestling scene, so there's history there, and there's the tie-in. And we're getting this new look, and I like it because it's fresh. It's something new. We've never seen Cody Deaner like this. And to go on to the point where you were talking about Tommy Dreamer, I'll be honest with you. I like Tommy Dreamer from the original ECW. I understand his role, but I'm tired of seeing Tommy Dreamer on Impact Wrestling TV. And if it were me, from when I look at with the six-man tag, I also kind of equate the booking to when he would do his own shows with House of Hardcore. I think the only reason why Tommy Dreamer is in this match is to take the pin, and I don't see the face team winning of Rhino, Cousin Jake, and him winning. So I think he's just in there to take the pin, but I am so sick and tired of seeing Tommy Dreamer on my television screen.
The only way that this match is going to get saved is if Tommy Dreamer himself turns heel and turns on his team and joins Eric Young's team. That will be the only way this match will be saved, and I will have any type of interest of Tommy Dreamer going forward. Other than that, this will be my break to go and do something, use the bathroom, go get a drink toward this match. I'm sorry. But I'm so sick of Tommy Dreamer, I can't take it anymore. But the best thing of the show, and I was upset, and I'll be honest, I was upset with how Impact Wrestling decides to take those 2-week breaks with the best stuff when they have such that momentum of the man, the cleaner himself, Kenny Omega, coming in with Don, and now the formation with the Good Brothers. And then they kind of killed that buzz. Because the last 2 Tuesdays, I was like, oh man, Impact Wrestling is tonight. And then when I turn it on, it's the best stuff. Oh, I'm like, come on, dude. Like, no, don't do this to me today. But it was such a fresh, just to see the show live again on Tuesday. And then see the ending where once again, the Good Brothers aligned themselves with Kenny Omega and did the beatdown on Swan and the Motor City Machine Guns. I loved it. I love that booking. I love that energy. I love that action. I love what we can expect going forward and what we're looking for and what we're thinking ahead of. Man, this is going to be something exciting. So I love that ending. I mean, I just love that whole thing. And I can't wait for Hard to Kill to watch that main event just to see finally a wrestler from a different company like AEW, who is like right now is number 2. And I don't care what anybody says. I'm an Impact lover for the last 19 years. But there's no way in hell Impact Wrestling is all the way up there with WWE, and then AEW is number 2. I mean, they're the ones that still doing stuff live and tape, 1 week at a time. But this adds so much buzz to Impact Wrestling. It's bringing in new viewers from AEW and new viewers that probably haven't seen wrestling in a long time and are seeing what's going on right now. So, Mr. Larkin, what are your thoughts and that whole angle there towards the end of the show?
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question about one other match when I'm done giving this explanation. So I want to say this. I like the Kenny Omega, and I like the whole thing that's going on with the Good Brothers and Swan and the Motor City Machine Guns. I liked it. I thought it brought a lot of action and brings a lot of interest into their match going into Hard to Kill. Personally, I thought they beat the crap out of each other. I know we're going to get to AEW in that angle, but I like this mix. I like companies working together. I like Kenny Omega and the whole relationship with Don Callis, because in real life they are very good friends. They're best friends. And then you have the OGs of the Bullet Club, that being Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. And you also bring everything that's really encompassed with the Bullet Club. I mean, mind you, Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, Fergal Devitt is in the WWE, but one of the main integral parts of the Bullet Club was Kenny Omega. And for me, it adds a lot to the product. It adds like that interest, that working relationship with companies coming together. And I really like the unity involved in it. And I also look forward to a kick-ass match between all these guys. And I'm going to say this right now. I know we're going to get to AEW, Jorge, but my God, you have the influx of the Young Bucks in there. Takes me back to 2010. I'm talking about Generation Me versus the Motor City Machine Guns. And you just want to see overall great action. You have a lot of possibilities and scenarios going into this partnership and going into this match for what we get to see at Hard to Kill. So, man, I loved it.
Yeah, and it's funny how you brought up Prince Devitt, and then it brought to my mind that Shinsuke Nakamura
Yep.
Prince Devitt, AJ Styles, all former leaders of the Bullet Club are now in with Uncle Vince, and they must be seeing what's going on out here, and they're going like, man, we wish we were back out there with that type of action. But it's something amazing, and we'll go to night number 2, AEW.
Well, hold on
They
one second. Hold on, Jorge. I don't mean to cut you off. I had one other thing I wanted to ask you about Impact. So,
Go ahead.
one thing that really stuck out to my mind is I know they're going to do this at Genesis, I believe. God dang, man, we get to see the retirement of Jazz and Jordan Grace. Are you looking forward to seeing Jordan Grace and Jazz? Go ahead.
To be honest with you, I'm not really looking forward to that match, just because Jazz. I'm sorry, how old is Jazz now?
Oh my God, Jazz has got to be in like her 40s. Yeah, because her and Rodney Mack are still training people, so she's got to be in like her 40s too.
Well, I saw the ending between her and Jordan Grace against the Sisters of Destruction.
Yes.
And I saw when Havoc did the Tombstone Power Driver and how her head was like 5 feet away from the actual ring. And I'm going to myself, that's not a lot of. I mean, it's a tape show. You mean to tell me nobody saw this in the back and say, "Oh, let's stop this and let's do it again"? And I just really, I just don't see Jordan Grace and Jazz doing anything spectacular. Like, I don't see Jazz like being able to do the same things like she was doing 20 years ago. Of course not, but I'm just thinking like, I don't know, man.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I'm not looking forward to it. But I will say this though. I know that in Texas, SWE Fury, I know Rodney Mack is like the champion there, or the TV champion, and I know Jazz is there, and I know they have a lot to do with that company. And right now they have Tim Storm as the champion. They have Christy James, which I love Christy James.
Yes, I know you love
the women's champion. And now in February, they're having a tournament for a new women's television champion. And they have a lot of independent females going down there to wrestle. So in February, so I see them doing a lot of stuff for the SWE Fury. And actually you can watch it in one of the social media, one of the streaming services, and I can't remember which one it is. But I downloaded it to my phone, and I can't wait because I wish I could be there because I will be front row to see that. And they have that new girl Michelle, which is Spud's wife.
Renee Michelle.
She's gonna be in the tournament. I know they have Mandy Rakowski, which I love. And I just seen her recently at AEW, and I love her look. She's going to be there. They have at least 10 female wrestlers. And this is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. And I know Jazz and Rodney Mack are doing a lot of training for the ladies down there for that show. So I respect what Jazz is doing, moving forward. If she does retire, because if she's having a match, I don't think she'll retire anytime soon.
Yeah, well, it's funny because as we were talking, and for the record, Jazz is 48 years old, so she's 2 years shy from 50. And the thing is, too, like you were talking about,
she still looks good.
She still looks good, absolutely. But as you get to that age, I'm like, yeah, of course. And it's one of those things, dude, where I look at it from a stance like it's not the Jazz in ECW. It's not the Jazz when she was wrestling Trish Stratus and Lita from 2003. But it's one of those things where for a lot of people growing up in that time period and looking at it from the female standpoint, this is who they grew up on. So it's great just to see from that standpoint and the nostalgia standpoint.
Yeah, I'm glad that she's getting a nice match at a good pay-per-view. More eyes can see her that haven't seen her since 2003.
Yeah, man.
WWE days. So it's been a while, 17 years that she's been in that type of limelight. So at least if this is her last match, hopefully it's a win over Jordan Grace, and and people will get to see her and see who Jazz was and the legacy that she built. And that's somebody who definitely built the women's division going forward, man, with their hard work. Her and Rodney Mack, man, used to be animals.
Yep.
Back in the day, man. Rodney Mack used to be a beast back then, bro.
Red
telling
Dog,
you.
man. Well, here's the thing that was funny about him. Like when he came in with Teddy Long, I loved it. I thought it was funny because he's a big dude, like you mentioned. He's a beast. He could go. But then there was that 1 week time period when he was Red Dog and he was with John Cena for like a week on SmackDown, and then they put him right to Raw because they released D'Lo Brown. But yeah, oh, good times.
Yeah, man, yeah. But we'll go to Tuesday night,
All right.
and I want to ask you, man, what do you think of -1? And as we know, -1 is the son of the late and Rochester's own Mr.
Brody Lee.
Brody Lee. Brody Lee. I know him as Brody Lee. John Huber, a.k.a. Brody Lee. I don't know the other guy from WWE days. I don't know him. But -1, bro, what they're doing with that kid there at AEW is, I throw my hands off to Tony Khan for what he's doing with that kid. I mean, he let the kid like basically take over AEW Dark this past Tuesday. The kid called a promo. I mean, well, how old is he? Like 7, 8?
He's like 7 or 8, yeah.
Like, this kid called a promo better than half the wrestlers out there calling promos. And he has a feud against Marcus Stunt. Okay, this kid is 7 years old, and he's already the same height as Marcus Stunt. And I'm pretty sure he could beat Marcus Stunt right now. But he cut this amazing promo, and I was like, wow. And I mean, I love what Tony Khan, what AEW has been doing. That tribute show for Brody Lee was amazing. To this day, I mean, I've been watching wrestling since I was 8 years old in Puerto Rico with my granddaddy. This is the best tribute show that I've ever seen. And we've seen different tribute shows from Brian Pillman, Chris Benoit, unfortunately, before anybody found out what happened, Eddie Guerrero tribute show. This was by far the best tribute show I ever seen, and what they're doing with -1 is amazing. And Chef, I call you Chef Larkin. I mean, I don't know what do you think of -1, bro?
I think he's his father's son. I think the business is in his blood, and I think it's one of those things is we're going to see that kid blossom when he gets older. And just watching what he did with that promo, he's got the gift of gab. He's, like I said, he's his father's son. He has the great tutelage and the knowledge from learning the wrestling business. And the fact that he's going against Marco Stunt is hilarious because Marco Stunt is so short, and I'm just ready for him to mollywop on Marco Stunt. But it's one of those things where I really enjoyed. I think they did the right thing by taking care of him and his wife. The kid is amazing. The kid is funny. He's got charisma at such a young age. I can't wait to see what happens when he gets older, Jorge.
Yeah, man. And he's right under the right shoulders of Cody Rhodes and the rest of the guys there, the Dark Order. And I'm pretty sure this kid is going to be trained crazy when he starts getting there into, his early teens, like 11, 12, and he starts getting to ball cop and really get into the ring and do stuff. But right now, I put my money on him to beat Marcus Stunt in the match, and I'm pretty sure it's going to happen pretty soon in a dark match. I see it happening, and I love what AEW has been doing with the whole family, like you said, and how all the proceeds for everything goes to the family of John Huber. So that's amazing right there, man. That's amazing.
I also look at it from a stance too, because I just want to talk about AEW Dark for a second. And here's what I love about AEW Dark. Like, we get a lot of talents from the indies coming and getting really a chance to showcase their stuff. And that's what I love about Dark. And I got to say, one of the things that really popped me, my dude Bear Bronson, and for those that don't know, he's a talent from Creative Pro, Long Island, New York. What's actually funny, and I'll share this little story with you, him and I actually went to the same high school. I graduated a couple years before him, but it's great to see guys like that get an opportunity, and so many women and guys get an opportunity on AEW Dark. I really enjoyed the show. If people are not watching AEW Dark, because I know there's certain people that don't, what are you doing? It's a great hour, X hour, whatever it is. It's great matches each and every Tuesday night. And I just had to put over the fact that AEW Dark is the future for many wrestling talents getting into the industry.
I mean, what? Top Flight? They had like one match in Dark, and they got signed. The Acclaim.
Yeah, the Acclaim.
Yeah, I love the Acclaim, dude. Like that one guy, Caster, with his rapping. I mean, it reminds me of, people say, oh, he's biting John Cena. Well, flattery is, they will say flattery or whatever.
Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
Yeah. 10 years ago, John Cena was doing that, but John Cena was doing a cappella. This guy is actually coming to the ring before the match, and he's dissing his opponent on beat. It's one thing to rhyme off the top of your head a cappella. It's one thing to rhyme off the top of your head on a beat, because you got to be on beat. And this dude is dissing his opponent before the matches. They got signs.
Well, here's the thing about this, and here's what I love. Dude, fellow New Yorkers, we got Anthony Bones, we got Platinum Max Caster. Here's what I love about Platinum Max Caster. The dude is actually a musician. He does his own music, and if you guys have not seen Buck Hunt, where they friggin' make fun of the Young Bucks, it's absolutely hilarious. It kind of reminds me, I'm going to take you back, man, Jamie Dundee and Wolfie D. Man, PG-13, remember PG-13?
Feel the son.
Yes.
I used to love PG-13 before, and then never got the chances in WCW or WWE. They just became jobbers.
Yes.
When they were there. But I if you watch them in down in Memphis wrestling on the shows and independent, those guys could go. At that time, they were like the high flyers back in those days.
Oh yeah. And Platinum Max Caster is also one because I know you love him too. Here's the thing: I know Anthony Bones is the one with the beat with the boombox, and Platinum Max Caster is the one that raps. That dude, he's another one out of Creative Pro. He's a guy like that. If you have not seen his independent work, watch his progression from how he starts, and then once he transitioned into the rap stuff, it's good. And like you said, I wanted to go on the John Cena stuff. People, how many years ago was John Cena doing the Chain Gang? That was like 14 or 15 years ago. Ever since 2005, he's been doing Hustle, Loyalty, Respect, or 2008, whatever it is. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop it.
And like I said, dude, it's hard to rhyme on the beat.
It is. It's very hard.
It's not easy. It's hard. And this dude is flowing. And this dude is dissing people before the matches. I mean, that guy to get in your head before a match start, this dude just put me down bad. I mean, and I go back, like when I get bored, I go on YouTube and I try to watch from day one in AEW Dark, and I keep watching every time they come out and just to listen to him rap, because it's just unbelievable how this dude just comes out of the top of his head and just does that. We also saw Shana. She came back from France, so she's back in the States. After missing like 10 months because of the COVID.
Yeah.
So she's back. She just had a dark match. And I love what they're doing. They have Alice Gracia. They just have Maddie Brankowski, which, like I said, I just saw her 2 weeks ago. And I love the girl. Long hair. She's tall. She knows she has her basics down packed. And I hope she gets signed by AEW, because there's so much you could do with that type of look. Building the women's division in the future, man. So I love what they're doing, like you said. With all the independents, they're bringing the guys, they're bringing the females that you never heard. Lindsay Snow's been there, on a couple of shows here and there. So people that you never heard, you're seeing them now doing their stuff. So I love AEW Dark for what they're doing, and people need to start tuning in, man, because you're missing a lot of action on Tuesdays of future guys. What was that team, Bear Country?
Yes, Bear. Oh, that's Bear Bronson. Yeah, that's Bronson's team. Yep.
Okay. I love that tag team. Those guys should be signed right now, or at least go to Impact Wrestling. They'll be right on the top of the pecking order if they're signed with Impact, just because there's a need for tag teams in Impact Wrestling. I mean, AEW has like 50 tag teams, for the love of God.
I mean, here's the thing about, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And the thing with Bear Country too is, like, you look at that team, their size, their stature. But I think if you've not seen Bronson, it's one of those things where he actually, what's funny about him is in CZW, he used to be the manager and he used to team with MJF. So, I mean, we have that tie-in and correlation with MJF and AEW. So I think for that guy and that team, if you put them in Impact AEW, there is a chance for them to shine. And they have that appeal to them and that attributes and everything that goes into it. So, man, I can't wait to see some more Bear Country.
Yeah, man, that's Yogi and Boo Boo.
Yes,
Bear Country right there.
Yes.
Yogi and Boo Boo, Bear Country. I love them. But, let's move on. But, yeah, we got to -1. We saw everything that happened. We saw the main event. John Moxley cut a nice promo, before. And then we saw that fire main event between Kenny Omega against
Phoenix.
King Ray Phoenix. Dude, that was crazy. That match was crazy. And then what happened afterwards where now you see the switch. Now you see Good Brothers finally coming into AEW wearing the Impact Tag Team belts, and you getting the name drop by Chris Jericho. Oh, they don't work here. They're the Impact Tag Team Champions. I'm pretty sure a lot of AEW fans who don't even know what Impact is were saying, oh, who are these guys? These guys are two monsters, and they're aligned with Kenny Omega, and they're tag team champions for a different company that we probably never heard of. So that right there, just that 5 minute spot. And that's what I love about what you mentioned earlier. The companies working together, putting aside, the hate or what's the word I'm looking for, Larkin?
Well, the tension, the division that you want to do with companies, and the fact that it's like, oh, we're just going to do what we do here and not work with everybody. It's the division, and that's the problem. Because if you look at WWE, like, I'm a fan of NXT UK, and that's great, but that's the that's the promotion over there. And I know Chef loves him some ICW, and I know Jorge, but it's one of those things where you have that relationship with NXT and Evolve works closely, Gabe Sapolsky and all that. But it's not the same like if an Impact talent, like you so eloquently put it, if the Impact Tag Champs are on AEW and everybody's like, oh, well, I've never seen Impact. What is this? Who are these guys? It has that appeal. I mean, compared to WCW, when here comes Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, what are the WWF guys doing over here? This is Invasion. It's intriguing, and it's just like it's something you want to see, because so you don't have the division, you have the camaraderie, and it's like, all right, let's see where this goes.
And the world looking for, they put the egos aside.
Yes, thank you.
The politics are not there. And you have guys who are actually working for Impact Wrestling, not like Scott Hall and Karen Nash, that they were already free agents, already signed with OCW. These guys are actually in contract with Impact Wrestling, invading a different company. And what's even better, they started beating Phoenix. John Moxley came out. They started beating him up. And then here come the Young Bucks. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I jumped ahead, you see guys from the side coming up. The Varsity Blondes.
Yes.
Grafferson and
Brian Pillman
Jr. Chaos Project. I saw one half of the bodega there. Danny Limelight getting his ass whooped. I mean, there were tag teams from AEW Dark jumping the ring, and there was bodies and car crash and blood everywhere. Here comes the Young Buck trying to stop everything, and then you saw the double super kick from Anderson and one of the Jackson brothers, the Varsity Blondes, and then the best part of the show, the Too Sweet sign, too sweet. Too sweet. And the Bullet Club, the band is back together. Now this right here, Mr. Larkin, my friend, this opens so many possibilities. So many ideas just pop up. Just imagine if COVID was not here right now, or maybe it goes away. If you could see some of the Bullet Clubs from Japan who are probably here in the States right now, like the GOD guys, or come out at their next pay-per-view in February there at the show, and throw those signs up. Wrestling will be dropped on top of this head. Uncle Vince is going to be making phone calls to Eric Bischoff, to Hulk Hogan, to all the old school guys to come back, because they need ratings, because they're going to be losing fans coming up. So Larkin, please surmise everything that you saw there at the end. Put it all together, brother. Put it all together in better words.
Oh, my brother. Okay, let me look at it like this, because here's the thing. You have him lay out John Moxley. Now, how interesting would that be if you follow up from that? Because there's two different storylines going on. You got them and Swan and the Motor City Machine Guns at Impact. You got John Moxley over here. How cool would that be to see John Moxley go to Impact on Hard to Kill and just beat the bejesus out of Kenny Omega from that? There's possibilities there. You could see John Moxley there. You know what I'm saying? He has some tie-ins. You got Sami Callihan's there. They were both a tag team in CZW. It gives everything everybody a chance to work with everybody, and it's cool. It's awesome. And like you said, if you could bring the GOD, the Gorillas of Destiny, Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga there's a lot of tie-ins there with New Japan. And I mean, we saw in Wrestle Kingdom, John Moxley and Kenta. There's so much you could do right now. It's a wrestling bonanza, if you will, and I think it's just going to open up to so much more. And I really cannot wait to see the development of what we got. Because like I said, 2 different storylines. Here's Swan and Motor City Machine Guns on Impact. Here's John Moxley on AEW. Combine the two.
I didn't even think about that. John Moxley hitting Hard to Kill there at the main event.
Yep.
That will be insane if that happens. I mean, that will be insane. I will lose my head if John Moxley shows up in an Impact Wrestling ring.
Oh,
I mean, we already gonna see Kenny Omega do it, and we have not been this excited since Kurt Angle when Kurt Angle joined Impact Wrestling. I mean, I think that's like the last super duper buzz the company has ever had. I mean, even though Hogan came in.
Well, hold on. Well, I'll go back to 05 in that because that's 06 when Kurt came in. I would have to say before that, Christian Cage.
Yeah, but I didn't mention him because, like I said, the last biggest Angle was way bigger than.
Oh, it was
Christian
absolutely.
Cage.
Because nobody would expect it.
Yeah, Christian Cage was up here. Kurt Angle just trumped Christian Cage right now.
Oh, absolutely. Because at that time, like, he was so burnt out from WWE, and he's just like, no, I'm going to go over here and upgrade the product and work with so many different guys like he did. So I have to agree with you on that. I think the Christian Cage one was more, okay, he was burnt out, he quit. Now I'm going to go over here and try something else and elevate myself. So yeah, I would say Angle had the buzz too, but both big.
Did Angle get fired?
Yes,
because supposedly of medications or doing it with the pills or whatever.
Yeah, the somas and stuff, and then he refused to go to rehab, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm done."
And he wanted to go into Impact Wrestling.
Yep.
And we never heard any type of that I remember any type of rumors.
Nobody knew.
So the time that he was at Impact, I'm pretty sure he was clean.
Well. Well, do you remember the DUI he got with Raka Khan driving on the wrong side of the road in the store or whatever that was?
Yeah. And then when his wife passed away, wrestling. No, I'm sorry. Jared's wife passed away, and the whole Karen Angle, Karen Jarrett. Oh, dude, I thought that right there. I thought somebody was going to get killed for real in real life, and I was surprised that those guys kept it professional, and I mean, they even did a storyline out of that because, dude, I'm sorry,
Well, look at Matt Hardy and Edge in WWE. Look at Chris Benoit and Kevin Sullivan. I mean, sometimes you got to coexist and coincide. And I'll be honest with you, I've been holding this, Jorge, because I know you being the Impact loyalist and Impact fan that you are. Man, we got this invasion with Impact and AEW. Is it better than TNA and GFW in 2015?
Hey, man.
I had to bring it up because, oh my God, you want to talk about a debacle of an invasion.
And then, I can't even say anything about that.
Can't even say
that was the worst invasion ever. That was a taped invasion because the whole thing was taped for like almost 3 months.
Well,
that whole invasion.
Well, look at the guys that they brought in. You brought in Brian Myers, Trevor Lee, Chris Effin Masters, and Justin Gabriel, PJ Black. Oh,
I mean, out of all the names that you mentioned, Myers is back, and he just resigned for a new Impact. So I'm happy for that. And Trevor Lee, I mean, he became a big name in Impact.
He did, and I mean,
now
Cameron Grimes. Yep,
Grimes down in WWE. So at least there were some guys who came in from that little mini invasion. And were the Group Brothers also in GFW?
They were, but you never ever saw them because there was hardly any shows. They had like a house show that didn't sell out. I mean, it was a debacle from the start.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of that. They had the TV tapings for like a whole season that never got picked up. No one ever saw.
And they had like a UK deal. They were going to be on some network called Boulder Creek TV that I've never heard of. I'm like, okay.
And then the Jarrett and Anthem thing is still going on.
Yeah.
the 6 hours of the best of GFW.
It won't die. It won't die. It won't die because Jeff Jarrett wants his GFW
That
tapes.
that thing, unbelievably, is still going on, and we're into. I mean, it's been, what, 2 years now? I think,
Yeah, like 2.5 years.
and it's still going on,
It's
ladies and
still
gentlemen.
going on.
It's still going on strong. That thing is for 6 hours of shows that nobody ever saw, but they did the best of something, and add the actual Impact App Plus at that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was on TV; it was on the Impact App Plus. That, as we know, doesn't work half of the time.
Yes.
People be complaining on Twitter that they can't log in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm afraid what's going to happen tomorrow night, for the Genesis pay-per-view. If people are going to be able to log in because they never respond to their fans. So for good things that Impact does and Anthem does, there'll be some other stupid shit, and you kind of go like, didn't this guy actually just bought a channel, and you have this money for this company, Anthem, but they don't want to, like, give money to people that actually need to do the jobs correctly, and it kind of just like, that makes no sense to me. I don't understand this. But anyways, Mr. Larkin, is there anything else that we missed? I know I wanted to keep it short.
No, you're fine, man. We shot the breeze and we did our thing. And I also have to say, I think the only thing we missed on Genesis besides the Super X Cup and Jordan Grace and Jazz, Willie Mack and Moose in the street and the I Quit match, I believe. No,
whatever. That right there gets me upset because Moose should have beat that guy on the first move. Well, I think he speared him or he did something.
Yeah.
And it should have been done right there. And it just played on, and this dude just comes out, and he just sits there, and I'm like, he's looking at the clock right in front of you where you're looking at Mac, and you don't see the clock expiring. Come on, bro, like really.
Oh,
come on, man.
The only thing that I noticed about the guy that he was facing, what's interesting is because she tweeted out on Twitter, that dude is actually Ember Moon of the WWE's husband. That's her husband.
Really?
Yes.
Now, is he a wrestler, or?
No, he's a wrestler.
Okay, he is a wrestler. Yeah, I've never heard of him. So
I've never heard of him either. That was the first time I've ever heard of that dude, was him getting squashed. But it wasn't even a squash like you were talking about. I'm like, dude, like we could just like do a job here, like an enhancement match here. Like, fucking, why are we going? Oh, it infuriated me.
Yeah, that was just. There's some things that Impact does, and it just kind of. Hey, I love this, and then it just comes with some stuff that just like,
Well, I mean, we also got Taya and Deonna Barrazzo, and now, one other thing, Susie is now Susan.
Say that again?
Sue Young, Susie is now Susan.
Again?
Well, no, she's Susan now. Did you see that part on Impact where she kind of looks like Daphne when she was the governor doing the Sarah Palin thing back in 2008? Did you see that?
No, unfortunately, I was back and forth from watching it, so I missed. I taped it though, but I gotta see it. So now what happened with Sue now?
So Sue Young, the part I did see was it was Deonna Purrazzo and Kimberly, and they're telling James Mitchell, like, is it done? Is this? And she's in the room, and she's not Susie, she's not Sue Young, she is now Susan, and she looks. It kind of is. If people look at the imagery of the shot, she looks like when Daphne was playing the Sarah Palin governor in 2008. That's what she looks like. Yeah, she's under another persona now.
So what does that mean? That she's professional?
I don't know. I think what they're doing is she's like the female McFoley. You got the three faces of Sue, Jorge. The three faces of Sue.
You know what? I'm hating right now.
What?
That there's so much cinematic matches because we have one cinematic match coming either Hard to Kill or Genesis between Ethan Page and Kung Fu somebody.
Oh yeah, he's fighting himself at the freaking Hard to Kill
but that's a cinematic match.
It is.
It's a cinematic match. Which why it's on a big pay-per-view? I don't understand. This should be on Genesis tomorrow and get it over with. But I see something that happening with Susie, and Sue Young, where they'll be teaming against Deonna Purrazzo and the other chick,
Kimberly,
and then somebody else, just to make it like a 6-man. I could see that happening, and I'm going to be upset if that does happen.
Well, you could have the three faces of all wrapped in one. Well, here's the thing too. Now, unfortunately, what happened with Kylie Ray, and I like Kylie Ray, but the circumstances is I would have loved to seen her there, but what does happen. That was actually the other thing I forgot to mention to you. What did you think about her resurfacing on Cameo? What was she charging, like $55?
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you said you retired and you saying you seeking help, and now you're doing this, I mean, are you financially strapped? I heard, and I think she still has a contract with Impact Wrestling, so she's still under contract with them. So
that's the thing, because that's the thing too, Jorge, because she's still under contract with them, and I mean, I think she's given back to the fans for people that requested her on Cameo, which I get, but it's just like, wait a minute, how many times? And I understand people's issues, I do.
How are you giving back to the fans when you're charging the fans for that?
Right.
That's not giving back. How is that giving back?
Well, because she could
Larkin,
be refunded. Yeah.
I'm gonna give back to you. Here's $50. You could tell me a message and be nice to me, not even knowing me.
I know. I think it's a case of, well, yeah, Jorge, it's a case of like, I think people that requested and she's like giving the refunds and stuff are making up for it. But I'm like, all right.
Now that I understand.
I understand.
I respect that.
I respect that too. But the case is, a lot of people are saying, okay, you could, and I see their point of views, but as someone who has also dealt with, mental health and everything, it's one of those things where it's just like, okay, you're going to do this, but you can't do this. It's a weird one for me,
Well, I don't follow too many wrestlers on social media.
Okay.
But I remember, I want to say during the summertime, maybe during the fall, I believe she got engaged.
Yes, she did. Okay.
So where is this boyfriend, fiance at during this times? Because I'm pretty sure that's got to be hard. You dating somebody that has mental issues.
Yes.
I don't want to open a can. I am not a doctor.
Yeah, we're not opening the can here. We're just surmising.
I don't want nobody going crazy on me or nothing like that. I'm not a doctor. But if you go into a relationship with someone, I'm pretty sure you need to know everything about that person before you get to a relationship. So I'm hoping the guy knew she had mental issues going into the relationship and going into the actual engagement, because that'll be something if the guy never knew and now he finds out. How is the guy also dealing with all this stuff? Where is he? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I think the dude that she got engaged to was also a wrestler, so I think he has a good idea. So yeah, all
right. I'm just asking questions like everybody else.
Yes.
But it's just we or her resurfacing, and she also put a AAA under a bind because they were doing the marble thing.
Yes.
Where they have Cage as one of the guys and a bunch of wrestlers, and she was supposed to be a female superhero that was supposed to come out at the last AAA show, which was Triple Mania, back in, and she never did. She because once she quit, she never did that either. So she kind of put them under a bind too. I don't know if they found someone to replace her. I don't remember seeing that part when they had the superhero thing. So, and I thought they were trying to put some money into that and into her, like some kind of trade off, and they're going to send some people over as a trade off to Impact Wrestling. So, I don't know what happened to that either. So.
Well, yeah, it's like the Lars Sullivan thing, which hopefully he's gone now after that whole crap came out with him talking to people, sending pics. It's the thing where Lars Sullivan, like when he first came up on the main roster, and then I don't know if he got stage fright or whatever, man, had to bring him back down because he couldn't handle the pressure. So it's one of those things, man. He can't handle the pressure.
Yeah, but then he came back, and then he became like a monster, and then they came out with the
pics,
the same male sex scenes or whatever.
Well, the other thing, did you hear the other thing?
Again.
Well, yeah, then he got friggin' in trouble again he was sending he was talking sexual with a girl on Instagram. I think there might have been dick pics involved, and I'm like, this dude can't catch a break. Like, what are you doing, man?
No, it's not. He can't catch a break. Yeah. It's just this dude's a dumbass.
He's a dumbass.
He needs to get arrested, and he needs help.
Oh, he does.
If he's doing stupid shit like that, but hey, anyways, that's on him.
Yeah.
So, anything else we forgot there, Mr. Larkin?
Nah, I think we pretty much nailed everything that we had in the week of wrestling. The only thing I will say is, yeah, I don't care about Drew McIntyre and Goldberg. I just had to put that out. Fucking Goldberg, dude. And that's the thing. Like, I understand. Don't. I got to do it one time. Okay. They fucked
I didn't. All I can say is why.
Okay, so I guess well, I mean, I'll look at it from a stance of, okay, it's Goldberg, it's WCW, it's WWE. I guess he pops ratings, so we're going to have Drew McIntyre be a heel for some reason. They fucked up the promo at the end because they ran out of time, and then he shoves him on the ass, and then, yeah, I don't want to see it. I don't care. But, yeah, I just had to put that out there. Goldberg, 54 years old, fuck it.
I would have liked, if it was Brock Lesnar, I would have been fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. But
Brock Lesnar is back. Oh, okay, whoa. Goldberg again. Dude, I'm going to be so upset if he actually beats McIntyre.
Me too. Because here's the thing, it's a heel turn out of nowhere. And first, well, here's what it comes off as, because they ran out of time. He's like, you've been disrespecting the legends. I'm like, dude, he's been nothing but kind to the legend.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I didn't get that at all.
It makes no sense, and the only reason that they're doing it is to pop the rating. And again, if Goldberg beats him, it makes no sense. It's dumb. Don't get me started. All right, we'll leave it at that because that's the only thing we didn't talk about.
Well, even if McIntyre beats Goldberg,
yeah,
what's the end game? It's not going to elevate Goldberg any. I mean, it's not going to elevate McIntyre any more than he already is.
Well, unless they do. Well, they do.
Make no sense to me.
Not me either. And at least they do the schmaz where like Sheamus comes out and beats him up, and that sets up their match. I'm okay with it, but I'm like, it came out of the blue. It was an out of the blue thing.
Well, I hope that doesn't happen either, because I like Sheamus and him together.
Me too.
But we might see that happening though, like you mentioned, Sheamus turning on him.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. I'm all right, but yeah, it's no Goldberg, no bueno.
Yeah, but anyways, Mr. Larkin, give you your shout out so we get the hell out of here.
Okay. Well, you guys can check me out on social media at SM Show 1 or at MCL92. If you want to follow the Pop Culture History Podcast, it is pop_culture_pod. And if you want to follow the LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships Podcast, it's at LFC_pod and Lingerie FC on Twitter. The StephenMikeShow.com, LingerieFC.com. You can check the LFC podcast out on all forms of social media, from SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Anchor, wherever you get your audio platforms, as well as Andre Corbill's Wrestling with Wrestling YouTube page. And you can check out the Max Wrestling Podcast each and every Thursday with myself, Dazzy Dangerously, Travis the Walker Anderson, and Moses Marquez on YouTube, Max Wrestling UK on Twitter, Max Wrestling on the website, uk.weebly.com, the whole nine, man. We are there, we are here, we are there, we are everywhere. And what we love to do is provide people the platform to tell their stories, put out great content, and overall, it's a great podcasting community with people like yourself, Jorge, people like Chef, the Urban Wrestling Network. It is a beautiful thing. It is a great time to be a professional wrestling fan.
Good Lord, man. That was like a 2-minute promo.
Yo, man, I got a lot to say. I'm going to quote Big Pun on there.
There are 1,000 different podcasts that you're in. My goodness.
Brother, I'm going to quote Big Pun on this, man. I'm about to put some capital punishment on you, man. I'm not a player. I just talk a lot. Boom.
Yes, you do. But anyway, I am your quintessential Puerto Rican muffin, Jorge. And as always, you can follow us on urbanwrestlingnetwork.com is the website. We have Urban Wrestling Network on Twitter and Urban Wrestling Podcast on YouTube,
yes,
Facebook, and Instagram. So you can follow us there. It's the same thing. You can follow Chef, and I can't remember know his things. I know it's OG_done something. I don't know, but you can follow us, and we appreciate you following us. We appreciate you guys giving us the chance to come and talk to you guys, and we appreciate you guys accepting our point of views, even most of the time you guys don't like it. But till next week, hopefully Chef will be back. Hopefully Larkin is still here with us. Who knows what he's doing with all his podcasts? But thank you so much for listening, everybody, and we'll beat you in a do.